Yeah, hello. Um, Please, if you can hear me, let me know. Welcome you, everyone, for joining me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so I'm live today, and today I'm going to talk about, as the topic can suggest, I want to share with you about how my journey to travel to the United States of America, how it came about. I want to share with you my immigration journey. I hope uh, you will benefit from my experience and also my story, even though I will not be able to cover everything. That's why I indicated part one of my immigration journey or my American journey. Okay, so having said that, I have few questions, right? I have few questions that I've received from my um, inbox that I want to find answers to them, right? Uh, some of you have been asking me questions a lot. To some of you, I'm able to respond to you, and majority of the questions I'm not able to respond to. So I think uh, it's wise to just do a video, and then as I discuss or share with you my immigration journey, I will use the opportunity to also answer some of the questions, right? So if you are here, please, you know what to do. If today is your first time of coming across James Asma Edition, this is my YouTube channel, and I share with you immigration related information, especially the diversity visa lottery, or what most of you call American lottery, right? So, having said that, let's quickly uh, go through the questions that I've been receiving. I'm not able to write everything. I just took, I randomly write 6 of them, and I want to share with you so that um, you also learn from it. Okay, so um, all right. So this question is from one of my subscriber, uh, Michael. Michael asked, want to know, what do I need to do in order to increase my chance of winning the diversity visa program? Yeah, this is a good question, and I think a lot of people ask this question. A lot of people ask this question, and the truth is that people have different view as to how one will need to do to be able to increase his or her chance of winning the diversity visa program. But with the NALIC, or what I've seen in the site, the Department of State website, there is no way, be it political influence, academic influence, or whichever way, there's no way that one will be able to increase his or her chance of winning the diversity visa lottery. That is not possible. The only way that I think you'll be able to increase your chance of winning the diversity visa lottery is maybe when you are married, you apply and you include your wife as a derivative or a derivative, right? Then your wife also applies, then he will include you as her, spouse. You know, if any of you win, the other one benefits. also have a equal chance of traveling to the United States of America with that person. So what I'm trying to say is there's no way that you will be able to increase your chance, be it politically, be it. I even hear people say that if you have a family member who is in the United States, then he applies to you, you have greater chance of winning, which is not true, right? The whole process is totally randomization, right? Is everything is random selection. There's no way that you will be able to increase your chance apart from one way, which is you are espoused to someone and then he wins. Even if you are espoused to someone and he didn't include you in the application process, you still will not have the chance to do or to travel with him or her. So if um, uh, you are married and from day one, when you are doing the entry, if you are putting in the entry, what you need to do is to add your spouse. If you are a wife and you are applying, you add uh, your husband and you include all his details. That includes the name, the date of birth, even the passport photo. You have to include everything so that if you wins and then you are processing it, you also fill his DS-260 separately, right? That's the only way to increase your chance. Apart from that, I'm sorry, you don't have any other way to increase your chance of winning the diversity visa lottery. Okay, so the next question, I hope this is good. The next question is it free? Uh, I don't know. This question wasn't clear to me because if you ask me whether it's free or not, are you talking about after you have won? Is it free? I mean, is it free to process it, or you are asking if it is free to do the application? So I'm going to address this question in two separate forms since the question look ambiguous, right? So if you're asking or if you want to know if it is free to do the application, yes, it's totally free and it's not complicated as most application will look. This is one of the simplest application that anybody can do, and you don't need a special device to be able to do the application. You can use your smartphone, you can use the internet, I mean the cafe, you can use your desktop or your laptop if you have one. So as long as you have a device which is accessible to uh, internet, you'll be able to do the application and it's free. You don't need to pay anything to be able to apply. You just need your phone and then your data, I mean, internet access to be able to access the form. And the form is is not difficult, right? So back in Africa, especially in Ghana, where I come from, one is even now that the application is, I mean, overdue. Like they have closed application, you still see people on the street with their banners claiming to be registering people for the American lottery or diversity visa program, which is not always the case, right? So it's very simple and you don't need to risk it. I mean, to risk and ask someone to apply it on your behalf. When you do that, then you are fortunate and you win, then uh, it becomes fortunate because they are going to defraud you. They are going to, I mean, charge you to pay some huge amount of money to be able to process it. That is, if you don't have, there's a whole lot of um, challenges when it comes to allowing people to apply for you that I would like to talk about it in a separate video, right? So please, the application is free of charge. You don't need to pay anything to anybody or to the Department of State to be able to do the application. Everything is totally free. But if you win, you take responsibility of the whole process, starting from the police clearance. You need to pay to be able to, clear yourself, in the police department, wherever that you are, be it in your home country or a country that you have traveled and stayed there for uh, 6 or more months. You need to pay for it. You need to pay for your medical examination fees. You need to pay for interview, visa interview fees. You need to pay for even traveling expenses, right? To gather all your documents to make sure that you are set to go and prepare for the interview. You need to do that yourself, and even down to, buying your plane ticket, traveling to the States, like finding your own host. You need to do it. Everything is by yourself, and it all, include. Uh, you can't do those things without, getting funding, and you can't get it from anybody apart from maybe if you have a relative who is willing to help. Department of State or the President of US also only give you the status to be what? To become a permanent resident in the United States of America. Apart from that, all expenses relating to processing the diversity visa lottery or the green card lottery is up to you, right? So I hope this is clear. And another question is that, how do I get a host after winning? Well, yeah, once you win, it's your sole responsibility to do what? To get a host for yourself. How do I get a host? That's the question. So if you have myself, I'm taking myself for example, I have relatives who are in the United States of America, but at the end of the day, I I didn't come, or they didn't host me. They did not host me, right? So my host is a friend to my uncle, right? He hosts me, and currently I'm living with him, and he's a wonderful person, right? So depending, uh, sometimes you will have a relative who lives in the United States, but you may not want them to host you for one or two reasons. So if you don't have one and you have to look for one, that's where the problem is. So the only thing that I can say as to how you can get a host after winning the diversity visa lottery is, maybe if you are a Catholic, right? If you are a Catholic, then you win. Or if you belong to any religious organization, you can go to Facebook and then contact, right? You go to Facebook, but you have to do that with caution, with so much caution, so that you wouldn't put yourself in trouble. So if you belong to any organization, for example, Catholic, right? You just go to their platform. Or every state, you have to know the state that you want to go. So you go to every state, and then be it Facebook, you go to Facebook and then you search to find out if you have such organization in that state. Then you leave a message, and you also pray, right? You leave a message. If they have any contact information, you can contact them, and then you introduce yourself. If you have any proof to as to uh, giving them proof, so that, because they are also careful, in as much as they want to help, they are also careful so that they wouldn't be chatting to the wrong person, or uh, uh, someone who is not. They don't want to put themselves in the hands of what fraudsters, right? So because of that, because if they are willing to help, there are information that you will need from them, right? And you need to prove, they need to know, be sure that they are talking to someone who genuinely need help, right? So So that's one of uh, the way that you can get a host by, I mean, going to any religious organization. If you are a Catholic, if you are an Assemblies of God, if you are Winners family, that's Winners Chapel, whatever religious, if you're a Muslim, right? If you're a Muslim, we have organizations in the various states in the United States of America, right? So you go to Facebook and then you search for them, then you communicate to them. You can also contact friends, right? Mostly, depending on where you are coming from, sometimes you might not want to, I mean, let anybody know that you have won the diversity visa program. And so you don't want to share information, but there are friends that you can also confide in to share your issue with, so that if they have any relative who they can contact and they are willing to help, they can also help. So that's another way that you can get. So a friend of a friend can help. Even a friend of a friend of a friend can help you, right? So you should know that's one way that you can get your host. Another way is that um, uh, your school authorities, right? For example, if you complete a senior high school and you still have contacts of your masters, right? Your lecturers back in the university, if you have their contact, you can contact them and then you inform them the situation. And if you do these things, I'm sure that you will definitely get someone who will be willing to uh, host you. I'm very sure. So that's the only way, and some other ways that one can get sponsorship. I mean, hosts, right? So another question is from Kenya, and he said, "I'm from Kenya and I'm 40 years old. Can I apply?" Right? Uh, yeah, there's anybody can apply. Anybody at all can apply. It doesn't restrict you. It has no age restriction. It has no uh, geographical restriction. It has no, yeah, you are not restricted to apply because you are 40 years old, right? You can apply, and when you win, all your family come to the state, right? It doesn't restrict you. The only country in Africa that is out of the race is Nigeria, right? Nigeria, they are out of the race for close to 6 years now. And maybe sometime in the future, they will add them again because um, they have some factors that they consider to, I mean, uh, to eject you out of the race, right? So 40 years, you can apply. The only 10 that disqualifies you, even if you win, is when you are not educated and you have no qualifying job experience, right? Which I will cover in some of my videos that I will be doing in my subsequent videos that I'll be recording. So it has no age restriction. So you are free to go as long as you have a qualifying job um, experience and you also have uh, at least high school certificate, right? You are qualified to apply for the diversity visa lottery. Okay, so the next question was that, can I use my phone to take the photo? Yeah, the photo, that is another aspect of the diversity visa program that I would want to cover, right? That's one aspect of the diversity visa lottery I would want to cover. Um, the passport photo requirement. The passport photo requirement is, to me, I want to believe that majority of people would have been selectees if their passport photo had met the required description on the Department of State website, right? And I'm saying this for a reason, which I will discuss in some of my subsequent videos. Okay, so you can use your phone to take your passport photo. Once your camera is good, you can use it and you have the dimensions. You also know the the requirement for the passport photo. Once you take the photo, there's photo editing tool on the Department of State website that you can use to edit it. And when we talk about the editing, it's not like trying to garnish the photo to look beautiful as if you want to use it on your social media platform. That's not what I'm saying. The editing is get a dimension, and to make sure that even some passport photo editing tool can go alongside to even do a checklist. They will give you a checklist of the requirement, whether you have met the requirement or not. They will check those, examine your photo to be able to tell you if you are good to go, if you can use that photo, right? So your phone, you can use your phone to take the picture. And I always encourage people like that, people to, to take that option. The reason being that most photo studio, you will go and they claim they know, right? They know the requirement, but to be sincere with you, majority out of 100 is just about some 25 people that photo studio that are professional and they know what they are doing when it comes to the diversity visa program, using a photo for the diversity visa program. A lot of them doesn't know. Um, I've experienced that on several occasions, right? So I always encourage people, even I do edit photo to people, right? So what I would ask them to do is to just take a photo. You shouldn't care about the dimensions because I'm going to use the photo tool, the photo editing tool on the website to edit it. So the dimension will be taken care of. So what you need to do is to just take the photo and then you send it to me. So if you send it to me, I will then just take the dimension and other, make sure that it meets the passport photo requirement. Uh, and again, if you go to the studio and you are taking the photo and you know the passport photo requirement, please let them know. Tell them what you actually need, right? Tell them, even they can tell you they know what they are doing. So still insist and tell them, right? Because if you don't do the right thing and then you are not selected, you have to wait for another year, a whole year to be able to, compete again, which you are not even sure. So I always advise people that if you are doing it, do the right thing. Make sure that you are doing the right thing. Make sure that you are doing the right thing. So that the rest, you now pray to God, right? So, like I was saying, I wanted to also add that if you go to the studio and then you take the passport photo and then they want to give it to you, they want to send it to you, always require that the request that they will send it to you through Bluetooth. Don't send it through WhatsApp. And in my subsequent video, I will explain to you why they have to send through Bluetooth and not WhatsApp. All right, the next question also talk about how long does the interview last? How long does the interview last? Right? Um, it depends on your case, but because I've seen people, I've seen a situation whereby someone was interviewed um, like an hour, right? Like an hour. Not with the consular officer, but we have secondary interview. After the interview, the consular officer interviews you, and then he sees there's something fishy that he needs to, I mean, seek clarification. If he's not convinced, sometime they will ask you for a secondary interview. So the secondary interview, they will send it to a room, and then they will ask you. And this type of interview usually happen when they want to find out if you are married, and then they want to find they want to find out whether your marriage is bona fide, whether your marriage is legit. They can ask a group question, you and then your wife or your spouse. Then they will ask you separate questions. They will call you in a, they will call you separately and then ask you questions. Then after that, they will call the other person, your partner, and ask that question, ask similar question to see um, whether your answers are conflicting or right. So depend, but most case at least 5 minutes. I mean, at most 5 minutes, and you are done, right? Majority is 3 minutes, and you are done. Depending on your case, like I said, every case is unique, and depending on your case, you will tell you how long. But mostly 3 5 minutes, and you are done, right? Okay, so um, I I have ended all the questions that I've written. As I still have a lot of questions that I need to answer, and I don't have time. Uh, I don't have time, but I will need to continue with my questions. I mean, with my experience. I want to share with you part one of how my immigration came about. Okay, so as you already know, if today is your first time of coming by or coming across James Asma Edition, this is James Asma, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you know what to do. Just click on the subscription button to subscribe. And also don't forget to, click the notification bell. You always get updated anytime I come on live or I upload a new video. And most of the time, I want to center on interview experience. Interview experience. I have a bunch of them. I have a lot of interview experience across the world, and I will be sharing with you as time goes by. I will come here to give you, and sometimes I do give, audio, right? But one of you suggested that I should make it video, like to record the interview experience, which I think is laudable. So I will do that. So please stay tuned and don't forget to always come to look for new information. All right, so it all started way back in 2017, was it 2016? When I was in the university, level 200, yeah, people come around, like they move around and encourage students to uh, involve in the diversity visa program. Over there, we call it American Lottery back in Ghana. So one time in 2016, in one of our lecture hall, what guys came and then they spoke to us and said, "Oh, you apply, then when you win, then you go to America, then like that. So I participated. They took picture, and then they took my information, and then did application, and nothing happened. And by then, I didn't know what American lottery was. I didn't know what diversity visa program was. I didn't know. I mean, we just had the information. Then we did not even care to make more inquiries to know what it was. So we did application. Nothing happened. The next year, nothing happened. Nobody came to tell us whether we have won or we have not won. I don't know of others, but me, like, I didn't hear anything again until 2018 when I completed and I was posted to do my national service. My uncle, I salute you, gave me the link and encouraged that as to apply. That's the link for the American lottery as to apply. So I did the application. I think the time he shared to me, it was the registration period. I mean, the application period. And the application period is usually every year. Every year, it starts from first week of October and it ends in first week of November, like 1 month long, 1 month period. So that's the application period for every year. So once that period is gone, you have to wait for the next year, same period, then you do the application. And they usually announce the application date, opening date in September, middle of September. That is when they will announce the application time. So it happened that way. Then he shared me the link and asked me to do the application. I took it very serious. I went to a photo studio and I took the passport photo. I had gone through the passport photo requirement. I went through the link and I went deep and deep and deep to study. I mean, basic information as to how to do the application. Right, I did that. Then I waited till the application day. I waited till the application day. Then I did my entry. So if you apply on the in October or November, you have to wait till the next year, May. So in May, the results came. I checked, and unfortunately, I was not selected. Then October 2019. So the results came in May 2019. I checked, and I wasn't selected, unfortunately. Then in October, November 2019 again, I prepared and then I did the application. I went to the same place and then took the passport photo. Then I did the application. Then the next year, 2020, the results came. I went and then checked the results, and unfortunately, I wasn't selected again. I was so disappointed the second time because for some reason I had believed that this was my year. You can imagine that. I believed that this was my year, and unfortunately, I went and checked, and I was not selected. I was so much disappointed, but it didn't, I mean, discourage me from because you lose nothing apart from the emotional. I mean, the disappointment, that emotional uh, effect. Like you virtually lose nothing, right? Because you paid nothing to apply. So if you don't win, fine. But I just made my mind that until I win, I'm not going to give up. I will keep applying and applying and applying until I win. So that didn't stop me from applying. That's my second time. Then 2020, October, November again, I prepared and then I did the application. So usually within the 3 times that I applied, I usually apply and then also send the link to friends to also apply. And um, I remember like more than 10 friends, most people, you send them the link and then they don't even care. They don't bother to, to do the application. My own is to tell you or give you the link to apply. The rest you have to decide. So I did that, and 2020, that was my third time when I did application. I also applied for four other friends, three of my friends, and then one, uh, my senior brother. So I applied for them, and then I kept the confirmation page, right? I gave it to them, but because they don't know much about the diversity visa program, I just decided to keep the the confirmation number or the confirmation page to myself. So the next year, 2021 May, I can still remember it was 8th May, the results came, right? So when the results came, I'd moved from Tamale. I'd moved from where I live, the capital of Ghana. Then I went to the northern part, Tamale, to visit my uncle. That my uncle behind this whole thing. Yeah, because he gave me the link in 2018, and since then I've been applying and applying and applying. So I went to visit him. Then the results came. When the results came, I couldn't retrieve my confirmation page. But those other four people that I applied to, I got their confirmation number, and then I checked each of them. And unfortunately, none of them were selected. This was so disappointing. And I was asking myself, is it going to be, am I also going to follow same path, right? So I was afraid to check my results. I was very, very afraid. I didn't want to get disappointed again because this was like a university course for me. I studied. There's nothing in the Department of State website that I've not gone through. I've studied everything, and on my third application, I made sure that I did the right thing, and the rest I now hand it over to God. So there's this particular friend, I call him Papa Chris, who has been helping me in prayers. I'd moved to it was time for me to check the results. When I checked the other four people and then they were not selected, I didn't find my confirmation page. I just paid a visit because I had made my mind that I would check the results the next day, right? Because I had called someone to check my documents in the city that I live. Is to go to my room and then check my documents to find out whether he will get a confirmation page for me. Yeah. But by then, just that I wanted to use the confirmation page to apply, to check the results. But by then, the Department of State had updated their site in such a way that even if you don't have the confirmation number and you can still remember the email address that you used to do the application, you can still have access to the confirmation number and then you check your results. So by then, when I moved to my friend and then she said, "Oh, have you checked?" And I said, "No, I haven't checked." He said, "Why?" I said, "I checked the four of them and then four of my friends whom I've applied to, I've applied for, and they were not selected." So I was kind of afraid not to be disappointed the third time. So he said, "Can you check it now?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, go ahead and then check." So I had no option. Like I was given that, energy. He encouraged me to check because the results wouldn't change. Be it if if the result is positive, it's positive till the next day, till it wouldn't change. So whether you check it today or tomorrow, it will still be the same, unless some of us who believe in miracles, right? So he encouraged me, and then I went to forget confirmation page, yeah, if you go to the site and you don't have the confirmation number, you can go to forget confirmation number. Then when you click forget confirmation number, they will ask for certain details, your first, your last name, they will ask of your last name, and then they will ask of the email address that you use to do the application. Then they will ask of your year of birth. So once you have this information, you'll be able to retrieve the confirmation page. So I did that, and I got my confirmation page, my confirmation number, and I checked the results. My friends, you can't believe. As soon as I checked the results, unlike previous years, that even that same year, I mean that same day when I was checking my other friends' results, like I had to try several times because by then when they open the site is always there's traffic on the website. So, but in my case, when I just click to check, like boom, you are randomly selected and blah blah blah. The rest is stories. I couldn't believe it. I was so surprised. That kind of feeling that you can't control it. I screamed, and he was like, because he didn't know what what it was like, because he can't tell if it's positive. He wouldn't know because he has no little or no knowledge in the diversity visa lottery. So when I checked and it was positive, I screamed, and he was like, "What?" Oh, I said it's positive. Then we all, I mean, uh, celebrated. Then I couldn't wait to inform my uncle, right? So that was it. So in conclusion, persistence, consistency, right? Persistence, consistency, and you have to be hopeful and prayerful. So these are the, and make sure that you do the right thing. So you have to be consistent. You have to be what? Uh, Persistent, right? You have to persist. You have to pray. Then you have to do the right thing. You need to do the right thing. Uh, you need to do the right thing because, for example, most of the work is the passport photo requirement, right? That one for your own, you no one can tell you what your bio information is. Nobody can direct you on that, right? So you know, and in most cases, it's very rare for someone to write a different name for his name. So that one can be taken care of by any person. But when it comes to the passport photo requirement, it's very technical but very simple, right? People think it's so complicated, but it's not complicated. It gets simple, and you don't have to make it so complicated to the extent that you spoil the whole thing. And the Department of State, all the information that you need to be a qualifying selectee, they've given it on their site. So they have a whole lot of information on their website that you can access it and then make sure that you do the right thing so that you will be part of the race. Because if your passport photo requirement is, if your passport did not meet the passport photo requirement, you are not even qualified to go for the randomization from day one. I mean, as soon as you submit your application, they have sophisticated machine that detect if your passport did not meet the requirement. They get deleted. You will not even go to the next step, which is the randomization. You will not even go there. They will get deleted. So I always advise people to make sure that your passport photo, you meet the requirement, right? Meet the requirement so that the rest, you are sure that, okay, I'll be part of the rest, you're part of the randomization. And if you're lucky, you'll be a lucky winner of the diversity visa program. All right, so I will end my story here. Um, I still have a lot of information, experience to share with you, starting from the DS 260 form, because when you win, you have to fill a form and wait for to be called for an interview. Then you go for police clearance. you go for medicals, a whole lot. And in our case, if you are a DV22 winner, you know what I'm talking about. Starting from when the COVID hit and there was backlogs in the various embassies, the whole thing was it was just lucky. Even after you are lucky and you are selected, you still have to be lucky to be able to successfully process your diversity visa program. So it wasn't an easy thing, right? But the journey was so tough, and I would want to share with you so that you will learn from my experience. So my next video, I'm going to tackle on the diversity, the Department of State form number 260, right? And then what you need to do and what you need not to do. I will also talk about the passport photo requirement, but until then, I will share with you my experience and all that. So, like I said, keep watching James Asma edition. And if you have any question relating to this video or my previous videos, or any suggestion relating to diversity visa lottery or relating to the videos that I'm doing and the audios that I do, please, I'm building and I need an energy from you to be able to perfect this project. So also don't forget to share to your loved ones, share to your friends, to also be part of this family, right? I believe that sharing an information to someone doesn't doesn't disqualify you. It can't stop you from winning, right? In Ghana, we have over 2 million applicants every year, over 2 million. And one day I will come here with the statistics to show you every year the number of entries that comes from Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Tanzania, European countries, and all that. There's a way to get those information, and I will be glad to share with you. So what you need to do is to keep watching and keep coming back to get more information to be able to be a lucky winner of the Diversity Visa Lottery in the coming years. All right, so until we meet again, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the only way that you can give me the energy, or you ask questions, and I'll be more than glad to respond to your answers. All right, until we meet again, bye-bye.